Welcome into another week of the Jazz Fan Show. Ryan Van Doren.
Kelby Jones. Was I supposed to say my name there?
Both of us.
I don't know.
Both of us here again on a Saturday. It's freaking cold outside.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm
freezing.
You coming from higher temperatures or?
Yeah, I've been gone for a little while.
Where have you been, dude?
Checking out the sun, in the Bahamas, roughing it.
Yeah?
It was tough.
Sounds tough.
It was tough. 75, 80 degrees.
I guess I should probably pay attention to when you're not around for long periods of time, right?
I guess so.
Because it's just radio silence there for...
Well, since you're doing most of the work, it's all right. Most of it got done still.
Yeah, we're still here doing our show, even though you were gone. So...
I'm proud of you.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Nothing like a good vacation, and it was crazy. I mean, there's a few Jazz-related things that happened on this trip.
On your cruise to the Bahamas?
I mean, to start off with, the Jazz won every game that they played while I was gone.
Yeah, what does that mean? Is there...
Oh, I know what it means. Now I just need to convince my wife that it means the same thing.
You guys are going to just retire early?
You've heard of those like 365-day cruises?
Right.
They're only like $100,000, but you could stay on there for a full year.
It's basically like a boat version of an old folks home.
That's exactly what it is.
And you're looking to get there now.
I need to do it early.
Just tell the wife and the 6 kids.
Man, if it
we're moving on to the ship.
If it brings a win every time, I'll do it. I will sacrifice for the team.
You know what's funny about that is that the Jazz won every game while you were gone. And they've also won every game that I have been personally in attendance this year.
Wow.
So, I'm just saying.
We might be onto something.
Should we start a GoFundMe or something to get Kelby to every home and away game for the rest of the year?
That's a great idea.
Because they don't lose when I'm there, guys. So
that is a great idea.
You should get behind this, I'm telling you. Anyway, what happened in the Bahamas?
So, I mean, you and I were at the arena last Friday night.
Right.
You know, we got a chance to interview Sarah Todd from the Deseret News. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was way cool.
That's when we headed out of town. So I actually got to the airport, got to watch part of the game in the airplane.
Oh, nice.
So it was kind of nice to watch that game. I knew we were going to have some problems, when we're floating in the middle of the ocean. And so I was a little worried about how we were going to, be able to stay up to date on those games.
Yeah.
But first thing we do, and we fly all night, get to Florida. We have a little time before we can go get on the cruise.
Yeah.
So we're wasting some time at this resort in Fort Lauderdale, just, hanging out, trying to kill a few hours.
Yeah, sounds tough.
Yep. It was bad.
Yeah.
So walking down the hallway and somebody's like, hey, you. I was like, is she talking to me? Is she talking to me? I wasn't sure. I'm like, me? Yeah. Utah Jazz. And I kind of remembered I had my hat on, but I didn't really know like what she was pointing at me for.
Wait, you weren't draped head to toe in Utah Jazz velvet?
Yeah.
You should have been, dude. Just the hat. Anyways.
I left that at home just because it was so warm.
Right. That's a good call. You weren't rocking your Utah Jazz swim trunks, bro?
Those came out later.
Okay.
But the leather pants had to stay home.
Okay. Too sweaty.
They were too sweaty. But anyway, she comes up to me, tells me, I'm big Utah Jazz fan. She's like, I have been to tons of games. I fly out there to go to the games. I have a son or a daughter that still lives there. I can't remember which one. One of those.
So you were paying attention, is what
totally
you're saying.
Paying attention. And then she started telling me how good a friend she was with everybody on the team, which, I'll take your word for it. You're good friends with all of these people. They all know who you are.
Did you get a name that we can drop? Or
I didn't, but
okay.
Said next best thing.
Okay.
She's like, you got to see this. And, when any stranger says you got to see this, be a little careful.
Right.
Be a little careful.
That is the rule of thumb there. Yeah.
But because it's Florida, she's wearing these shorts, pulls out her leg, flips it over, Utah Jazz tattoo.
Really?
Utah Jazz tattoo.
All the way on the sunny beaches of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Unbelievable. She's excited to come out. She's looking to plan for another game. She's following the team.
Man, just Jazz fans everywhere.
Yeah. And this is a super, super fan. Super.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was exciting. I mean, I got to talk a little Jazz, and she definitely got to talk a little Jazz. It was a little hard to even get away from that conversation, but it was fun, even out there.
What was the tattoo of? Let me know. Describe it is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it was basically the logo, UJ,
in
the old in kind of the purple and blue.
Oh, so the throwback UJ.
Yeah.
The ones that like are on the shorts.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly the time frame, but yes.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it was good looking.
Yeah. You should get one yourself, man.
It makes me think about it.
Every listener out there, you should send us your Utah Jazz tattoos. If you have one or if you've seen one, send it to us on Twitter @JazzFanShow. Maybe we'll give you a shout out or something. Who knows?
That would be cool.
We can give Bruce Pitcher some ideas.
Yep. Our boy Bruce still has a tattoo on the line, hoping to get to 55 wins. He almost just threw it all away during that losing streak and denied his fandom, but he's back.
He didn't.
He's back on track. Bruce is back, still going for the 55 wins and the tattoo from Hanson Scotty here on the station. Things still possible.
Yeah, geez.
Still possible. So then we get on the cruise, and I paid for the expensive internet.
Right.
That was maybe, 20% of the fast internet here. It was painfully slow. And they even have sports bars, I'm like figuring, the first game was like, I think on NBA TV. I think it was the first one. So I thought there was an outside chance that if you have a sports bar, you might have NBA TV. No go.
What?
No go.
How was that possible?
I don't know. There's multiple bars there too. I mean, they just didn't have NBA TV.
What were they showing?
One was showing soccer. I don't know what the other channels were showing, to be honest with you. They didn't have...
Like The Bachelor?
I think they can only play... That is a sport.
Something like that?
Watch those girls box each other out to get a date.
Exactly. That's crazy that there was no NBA TV, dude.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it's on ESPN or ABC, then they can show it, but...
You should have let me know. I could have hooked you up with some websites to see that game.
Limitations. And then, we decided to schedule the late dinner, which starts at 8:30 Eastern time.
Right.
Happens to coincide with, pretty much when the games start. And they assign you to a table. We had a big crew there, so I know pretty much everyone at the table. But I had to make sure I got an end seat so I could prop up my phone and keep track of the score.
Right.
Right. I mean, they like to make it all fancy, but... I mean, if a Jazz game isn't fancy, I don't know what is, right?
Yeah, it's the height of luxury.
So we had that all. I had the Gamecast sitting up against the water on my phone because I can't get a live stream, can't get anything else. Watching these updates of all the scores, having them come through, sometimes being excited, sometimes being scared, sometimes being nervous. And honestly, the whole probably high point of the trip was sitting there during the Houston Rockets game.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
So you just watched that on your phone, like you were just watching what happened.
Just had to
possession?
refresh like ESPN Gamecast, refresh, and then after it refresh, the score would come up.
That's terrible. That honestly sounds terrible, dude.
It was, and it was dramatic too. Especially you get towards the end and you see the Jazz fell behind. They came back. We're right there, right?
Right.
They just hit a shot to go up with 10 seconds left. And then you wait until it refreshes, or it can refresh with that extra slow internet.
Yeah.
And you see, okay, PJ Tucker hits a 3. 1.5 seconds left.
Yeah.
Right?
That was, yeah. So I watched this game. I actually watched it on TV.
I hope so.
In the comforts of my warmed house because it was freaking freezing outside because I was not on a cruise in the Bahamas. But I was like, I couldn't sleep that night, dude. Like, I was so amped up over it because it was the craziest shot. In fact, let's just listen a little bit. Let's listen in to what you missed when Bogey hit that shot.
Here we go. Who's going to take this shot to try to tie or win? Outside to Bogey. He's crowded. 3. Bogdanovic! At the horn wins in Houston. Oh, my goodness, Bowler. Oh, baby, you got to love it.
Dude, when I was watching it, that's basically what my reaction was. I was just like, oh, like I was laughing because it was such an impossible shot. Yeah. And you can hear it. Like, you can hear when he swishes it. And I could hear it. It was just perfect. The perfect shot. And he was so crowded. And he was fouled.
Really?
Like, I'm not sure if the ref actually called the foul. His arm went up. And then when it went in, he did the and one sign.
Right.
So I don't know if there was actually a foul called, but I don't know. Just hearing it happen in Houston also, it like gives me the chills listening to it again. And I think right now that we should listen to actually the Rockets broadcast of the same moment.
1.6 left to play. Ingles trying to get it in. Having trouble. Bogdanovic, tough shot. He went in! The Utah Jazz have won it! Bojan Bogdanovic with only his second three-pointer of the game, and it never touched the iron. What a shot!
Listen to the crowd.
Bogdanovic. Wow. And what a bitter finish for the Houston Rockets fans.
Oh, it's so good.
That's awesome.
It was so good, man.
Were you
really missed out.
watching it on NBA TV?
It was on, I think I was just watching the local
Okay.
broadcast.
Somebody who watched the show on a different station, or I think it was a national broadcast, said that, when 1.5 seconds left and PJ Tucker hit that shot, they're like, oh, this game's over.
Oh, yeah. People were like posting that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the Jazz lost to the Rockets. Oh, the Rockets, Tucker hits this three, blah, 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 blah. It was such an amazing sequence of events. Also, just so everyone is aware, Joe couldn't get that pass in. It looked like he was going to have a hard time getting that pass in. But right as he let that thing go, Rudy broke towards the hoop and he was wide open. So if he had another instant where if he had missed bogey somehow, Rudy was just sitting there waiting for a dunk under the hoop.
Going to Rudy.
But it really was, it was incredible, dude. And I know you were on a cruise in the Bahamas and stuff.
No.
But you really missed out.
But my mood from watching that, seeing the even from the PJ Tucker 3 to that, that changed the whole week.
Did you see his face after? When he crumbled over and put his hand over his face like he was sick?
So I did see that.
It was
I did
so
see
good,
that.
man.
I wish he would have started crying. This is how bad though. I really wanted to see the highlights because we saw them what happened, trying to figure that out. And the streaming service is so terrible. I knew it was going to take some while to load. So I was getting text messages still, right? And so I have my son hold up his phone and record the last
oh my gosh.
the last shot and send me the video so I could see it before the highlights would load. It was awesome.
Cruises sound tough, man.
It was hard.
Sounds tough to really enjoy life when you're on a cruise.
Hey, but if somebody has to make a sacrifice, I'm willing to go back out. Now, also sitting there.
Not till the Jazz start playing again.
Yeah. We'll come back in June.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
We'll come back in June if it means a championship. And I had this discussion because a lot of people out there, keep up on Salt Lake City Dunk. One of our guys, at Griff Dunk on Twitter.
Taylor Griffin?
Yeah, he's been on our show before. I see a post from him, and I think this was, towards the end of the week. He's like, just got to the Dominican, looking up the Jazz highlights because he just got connected to the internet when he was on shore.
When he was on,
and saw the highlights, saw that they won. So he was posting how excited he was. So he might have to go back out on a cruise as well.
Yeah, just maybe you guys could just bro out on a cruise.
We might have to.
So that's the question, dude. Would you if it meant the Jazz would win a championship, would you really go without being able to see them play? If you could only watch the game tracker on ESPN, but it meant the Jazz would win a championship, would you do that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
As long as I could watch highlights after.
Huh.
What if you can't? I would game cast every single one.
What if it was
Even
just
if
that?
I can't, I'm still going.
That's a tough call, man.
Hey.
It'd be hard to enjoy if you couldn't watch it. It'd be nice though. It would be a good sacrifice.
You still get to see what's going on. You just don't get any video. It didn't have any audio either. But
man, why would anyone go on a cruise? This sounds terrible.
But what a cool turn of events. What a cool winning streak after a painful run.
Right. And I think that kind of flipped the script for the Jazz. I think they they had won that Blazers game on a goaltend that probably shouldn't have worked out.
It was a goaltend. Shouldn't have counted.
No, it was. And they still could have won. There was still time and all that stuff. But it was just nice to get a win in Houston when we had a 0% chance of winning.
Right.
You know?
There are a few teams where it just feels a little extra.
Yeah, and then it like gave us the bump we needed to win in Dallas the next night, and then we finished off Miami at home. It was awesome. They just played a great all-around game and kind of just soundly beat Miami, which is nice.
Love seeing this team, and it's just such a contrast between those five games where we're like, where'd everybody go?
I have a theory about that, by the way.
All right.
So when the Jazz played Houston, it was when like Westbrook and Harden sat,
right,
and they lost, and Eric Gordon had like 50 points or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that had a lot to do with the Kobe Bryant thing, because I think what had happened is Kobe Bryant passed away tragically, and Houston played a game that night, and they got the whole Kobe Bryant is gone thing out of their system. They played a game. They were kind of used to the flow of the game again, whereas the Jazz waited till the next day and had to play for the first time after Kobe's passing, and the Rockets were in town, and it just was a nightmare, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think the Jazz, honestly, like, they should have won that game, as we all know, and I think the fact that they didn't kind of just put a funk over everything, and they, I don't know, had a hard time getting it back. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well,
because it would be hard, man. It would be hard to play if you, like, were in the league and Kobe had passed, one of the greatest players to ever play in the league. It was gone, and the way that it happened and everything. I think it'd be tough.
Yeah, and who knows, what type of personal relationships that he might have had with even members of the Jazz,
right,
that are behind the scenes. So, I mean, I think that's a possibility. It definitely could contribute, to what was going on. I want to try to just look at it as a positive, and you hope you don't look back on a streak like that and it's the difference between like home court advantage, or a 2 and 3 seed. But
right,
it always comes down to that when you're looking back on your season. It comes back to some of those games you wish that you would have won or should have won.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, every team has those, right? So if you can learn from the times that it happens to your team and make that something that motivates you to not let it happen again, then I think you're starting to head into, contending teams and contending status, where hopefully we figure that out middle of the season.
Yeah.
And we get up against it again, we recover quicker.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird that we're this far into the year. We're at All-Star break, dude. Like, that's 2/3 of the way through the season.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is kind of sad.
It's gone too fast already.
Yeah, but luckily we got that win streak going into the All-Star game weekend. We have a couple of All-Stars playing out there. We're getting a lot of press nationally, and I don't know. It's a good time to be a Jazz fan. Not that it's ever a bad time to be a Jazz fan, but I'm sorry to do this. I think we need to take a break.
Oh, goodness.
But
you and your breaks.
I know. Sorry. Just got to go to the bathroom. That's how it goes. But when we come back, we should talk about All-Star Weekend and some of the stuff that's going on there. And it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, lots of stuff. We'll talk about who might be crying this All-Star game.
Yeah.
And who maybe already has.
Yeah.
All sorts of fun stuff with All-Star Weekend coming up. So stick around. More Jazz Fan Show after this. You're listening to 97.5, 1280 The Zone.